Hi everybody. It's Sandy here, and a slightly delayed start, but yeah, interesting times, and again a new moon for us to feel into and feel what is being called for and to bring our attention to. So we've got this new moon in Scorpio, from Western astrology, and really, Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. Pluto and Mars, the rulers of Scorpio, bring us into this place of the depth of death, the rebirth, and transformation. And I think for many of us, this has been a powerful journey this last couple of months, and actually, I've felt it really since the eclipses of August that we were really being called to dive deep, that there was so much that was being revealed of our own stories, of our own patterns, that we've really just had to try and keep on track. And many of us that work with energy and that work with the light. Hi, Babita. Hi, good morning. It is good morning. Yes, it is still good morning. It's just this morning hasn't gone quite to plan, and I'd anticipated doing this reading, much before now. Anyway, at least I'm here. And the Joy Rose is behind me, so she is saying, come on, this is the place. Good morning, Erica. This is the path, this is the passage, this is the pathway that we're in. So, this place of the new moon in Scorpio has been calling us to really excavate the basement again, shine another light in on whatever may be residual in our storyline. And again, this passage of compression and contraction and expansion feels to have been the flavour of the last 2 weeks, so that we know that we can really move through this stuff, that we can be really aware of what's coming up and what we're being called to bring attention to get to that root, to get right down to that absolute root of this stuff. The guidance that I've had in my intuitive writings has been very much that this passage, particularly to the end of the year, is really significant, and it is the time in which we are really planting the seeds. We are making sure we've got very fertile ground, and we're planting the seeds in the dark, because obviously this is what this yin time of year is about. This is about drawing back into ourselves. And of course, Christmas and the Christmas New Year period is very much a festival of light, that we see those aspects of light embedded in the dark, in that fertile soil. So what we're being called to as we come into that deepest place of the winter solstice is to continually pull the weeds out of the rose bed. What else is there that we need to pay attention to that is done, and it's a place of being able to bring what's necessary up to the surface. The only place through this is to bring consciousness into the darker crevices and places that hold our deepest stories, our deepest beliefs and stories about ourselves. So each new and full moon gives us an opportunity to have another look and see whether there's anything else now that is ready to either be pruned or to be removed, so that we travel as light, those of us that work with the light, that are light carriers, that are light codes, that are light workers, that we travel as light as possible as we go into 218. So it really is a case of saying, bring it on. Show me where else I still have work, where there's still residue that I need to transform with the light, because it is light. When we shine that light of consciousness on the dark, it reveals to us what is asking to be transmuted. So these are just times and pulse points for us to really bring focus to our inner work, and that's really the powerful message for this time. It's like the in-breath and the out-breath of God. That this is the in-breath, and then we breathe out to the summer solstice and breathe back in and breathe back out again. It's beautiful, beautiful cycles. And of course, on the quarter days, we get that balance point, which brings us another piece of information. So one of the things that I think has really been powerful in what's come up for me in this last couple of weeks, because we can look at this in 2-week chunks between the full moon and the new moon. And it's really been a letting go, excuse me, a letting go of anything that is still running counter to love, running counter to that pathway of loving what is. And as many of you know, I made an essence on the full moon that the keynote of it was letting go with love. That actually when we see the gold in the experiences that we've had, and of course when there's core wounds involved, we will get multiple experiences, like a gestalt of experiences, all connected, having different facets and flavours of that core wound. And the closer and closer we get to it, the stronger the resistance is to go there, but also once we have the willingness to transcend it, so it is revealed for us. So yeah, it's been powerful, and I certainly have found the letting go essence really a wonderful. It's one of those a powerful support for that process. So what have the roses got to offer us for their wisdom, their rosy wisdom, for this particular pulse point in our journey? So, are you drawn to rose card 1? Are you drawn to rose card 2? Or are you drawn to rose card 3? And rose card 1 is Rose Bagua 4. Now, I'm not too sure that Rose Bagua 4 has actually come up in a reading for us before, but she is one of the Rose Bagua roses, so she holds the essence of this place of abundance, of wealth and blessings. So this rose, she calls us to gratitude. She calls us to the wealth and blessings of our lives, to see with gratitude all of the people and the experiences and the opportunities that have come into our lives that ultimately bring a wealth and a depth to our being, our ability to be present, and actually brings into focus who we are. You know, that depth of who I am, what I have come for, and what I have to share. What is the richness that I have to share? What is the truth of my journey? What is the absolute essence of my presence? So she is, I think she's a David Austin rose called Golden Celebration. And this is one of the roses that I photographed at Kew Gardens in London. And there's an endless richness to her. There's a depth to her. And she invites us to really connect with that sense of the gold in life, the richness and the gold of the whole of our journey. You know, even the things that and the experiences and the parts of our journey that we have really found challenging, they're the ones where we mine for gold. They're the ones that really colour our presence in the world and bring us that place of depth and resource within us that allows us to be a safe place for others. So this place of wealth and blessings in the Bagua sits on a diagonal with her partner, if you like, on the diagonal, which is Rose Bagua 6, which is helpful friends. So often we find those that come into our journey that we find really challenging. We don't realise that actually some of them have come to be powerful stimulators, or those that break down the old patterns that actually reveal to us our true light and our true core. So there she is. If you chose Rose card 1, she is Rose Bagua 4, wealth and blessings. So looking at the abundance and gratitude for life in your journey. If you chose Rose 2, which I think you did, Babita, this one is Rose 7. Now, she's one of the original 11 roses that came forward to create the rose grid the healing rose grid on the body, and was part of that original way of working with the roses that I was gifted in 2010. So this rose is one from the Alhambra in Granada, Spain, and she sits on the solar plexus, and she's one of the 2 roses that work with the solar plexus, and she is all about the lunar feminine. So really interesting that she's come up on a new moon, because she is this gracious, light-filled, vulnerable, has almost an air of fragility in her fineness, but she is the one that speaks to us of vulnerability and the power in vulnerability. When we have vulnerable places within us that we haven't acknowledged, we haven't embraced, that runs as a place where we can shut down. And we do that in order to protect ourselves. So this rose says, when you own your vulnerability, when you acknowledge it, when you embrace it, so you embrace your power, because that actually brings a whole different strength and empowerment in the energy field that you can hold as part of who you are, with honour, with gracious honour, that is an aspect of you. She is absolutely gorgeous, and really part of what we're being asked to embrace, I feel. You know, love, which this rose is in oodles, brings everything that's unlike itself to the surface for healing. So she's a really beautiful, radiant light for us to take our power, both within men and women. It's this authentic empowerment place. And if you chose Rose card 3, she is Rose Ma 10, and she says, I am compassion. So this is a presence, this is a quality of being that has compassion for others, but also has compassion for self. Because this is just, you know, sometimes when we look at our journey, sometimes when we look at the choices we've made, we've gone, holy moly, how did I come to do that? How did I come to find myself in that situation? And she says, you know, have compassion for yourself, dear one. You know, that all has its purpose in your journey. And when we can hold compassion for self, we can hold compassion for others, because we're all on a journey. We're all leading one another home. We're all helping one another home to find home within ourselves. And that is revealing everything that isn't love, that isn't loving for ourselves or love in action for others. So she calls us to a real state of beingness in holding that energy of love. So if she's called you today, look at those ways where you can give yourself a hug, and really acknowledge the journey that you've been on, just so that you can deepen and deepen your compassion for the challenges on other people's journeys as well, and be that compassionate action in the world. You know, compassionate action is part of the feminine warrior frequency. So a beautiful card for us to come up to today. So the 3 roses today, and as we know, the 3 roses have always got a unified voice, a unified message for us in the journey. And we have Rose Bagua 4, who's saying, look at your wealth and blessings. Really count your blessings as to how you are, what's going on for you just now, and your journey. So she's rich, she's gold. Acknowledge the gold in your life. 2, she says, you know, this place of vulnerability, don't shut it away. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge the courage that it's taken to get to this place. Breathe her in. She's a beauty, and she dances with Rose 9. The 2 of them work together. They're a partnership dance. So Rose 9, I don't know whether I've got easy access to Rose 9, but Rose 9 in the set sits as her protector. Rose 9 is the set met of roses. Don't mess with me. I know I am clear. I have good boundaries. And it's only when we feel safe and we feel empowered that sense of strength and boundaries can sit behind, and this can be revealed. And as I say, she's a superpower. When we acknowledge her, she's a superpower. And Rose card 3, I am compassion. I have compassion for myself and for those around us, around me. It's powerful, beautiful combo of work too. The colours this time. These 3 roses for me speak of the essence of the heart. The heart field for me isn't green. It is this beautiful, luminous pale pink gold. This is the radiance that I sense, see and feel on the heart field. So how beautiful that this is where they've come today. And what other news? The other news is we've still got several more weeks to go till the end of the year. So, there's some more clearing that needs to go on. This is, my guides keep saying to me, don't go back to sleep. There's a nudge. Don't go back to sleep. Keep the journey. Keep the path. Keep focused. Keep moving forward. And, Letting Go Essence is now available on the website, and is a really powerful supporter of the rest of the work that we're doing individually and collectively at this time. And I've got a space clearing weekend coming up on the website, and a beautiful day exploring intimacy, that sense of the inner beloved. You know, our relationship with ourselves is at the forefront of our relationship with others. And, for those of you that know the story, my story and my years of making wedding dresses, I did 18 years of making couture wedding dresses. And part of my curiosity was in inquiring, how did this woman who'd come to me for her dress, how did she meet her beloved? And of course I realised over time that it was the condition of the heart, it was the spectrum of vibration that the heart held that brought them into a dance with the other. They would either be a mirror of consciousness or a deep remembering of a soul connection. So this Way of the Rose Retreat Day is very much about that place of recognizing what's going on within our own relationship to our inner beloved, and how that connects and relates to our external relationships, both intimate personal relationships and obviously our families and friends. But it's going to be a gorgeous day of really looking at what stories we store in the body, our biology and our biography, and how we can help one another on this journey home to see the stories that we hold within us. And so it's another opportunity to see what's still playing out, and to transform that into this beautiful place of being able to move through into 218 in beautiful light, you know, to hold that radiance for all that we come into contact with. So there we are, new moon rose reading, tick. And I hope you have a super day today, and go well. So until next, with love, rosy blessings, and much abundance, grace and compassion on your journey. Mwah. Bye for now. Bye.